We're just moments away from kickoff here. Please join us in welcoming today's officials, as well as the players of Cal Odyssey and Napa Valley 1839 FC. Today's referees are center official Ivan Sikovic, assistant referee Johannes New, assistant referee Abdullah Aljanabi. And now introducing the starting lineup for Cal Odyssey. Playing in goal, number 00, Julian Vicente Lau. Number 17, Alexander Rodriguez. Number 21, Christian Velarde. Number 23, Sylvester Quintero. Number 18, Andreas Garcia Diaz. Number 12, Sean Williamson. Number 20, Stephen Morris. Number 5, Rigo Villa. Number 24, Francisco Murdoch Demestri. Number 14, Cesar Silva. And number 29, Adrian Lopez. Coaching staff for Cal Odyssey, head coach David Santasteban, and assistant coach Carlos Ruiz. And now, introducing the starting lineup for Napa Valley 1839 FC. Green Army, give it up for your starting 11. Playing in goal, number 01, Carlos Ayala. Number 25, Manny Maravilla. Number 30, Pat Neal. Number 20, Ryan Kane. Number 33, A. Ortiz. Number 36, Landon Ruiz. Number 26, Ludo Roca. Number 15, Eric Reese. Number 6, Jerry Mendoza. Number 21, Marco Reyes. Number 22, Zach DeValle. Head coach for 1839 FC, Mark Corbett. Assistant coach, Rogelio Ochoa. And athletic trainer, Brandon Lucas. And now for the playing of our national anthem. All right, thank you, everybody. Good luck to both teams. This match will be starting momentarily.
The guy was eating yesterday. You registered it in your photo from something else.
All right, this is match day Sunday afternoon here at Dodge Stadium. This is an NPSL matchup. As a matter of fact, this is the final game of the NPSL 2024 season. Once again, we host and welcome Cal Odyssey to town, coming up all the way from Fresno. Hot and breezy day here in wine country. And you may have been over in Sonoma with us yesterday for the UPSL semifinal against Sonoma Soul. Couldn't pull that one off, ended up losing 4-0, but overnight we're recharging, resetting, and back at it today on Sunday afternoon for this NPSL matchup. And that, by the way, put an end to the UPSL 2024 spring season yesterday. That UPSL league will resume mid to late August for the fall round of the UPSL.
Well, good evening and welcome. I'm Hayden Larson on the call for you here. You are watching Cal Odyssey at Napa Valley 1839. Hope you heard Scott Stone with all of those announcements. It is the final regular season game in the Golden Gate Conference, the National Premier Soccer League. 1839 firmly locked in at number 2. Cal Odyssey locked in at 6. 1839 off a playoff defeat last night at Sonoma in the United Premier Soccer League, the NorCal Conference semifinal. Last week, 1839 with a thrilling win here at home in the quarterfinal round. Took extra time to see them off to Sonoma. Scott Stone is right. The United Premier Soccer League season will begin anew sometime in August or September. For now, all eyes on next week's NPSL playoffs, beginning here in the Golden Gate Conference. A little bit earlier in the West than the rest of the country. Nice run by Ryan Kane.
So make sure you
Center.
check the website for the time and come on out this coming Saturday.
Alexander Rodriguez with a nice move, drew the foul. A free kick for Odyssey. They are a long way from Fresno. Probably about 3 hours to get here, maybe more on a weekend. It'll be a long way back as well. To be clear, it's 1839, of course, wearing green and white at home. It's Odyssey wearing red and blue.
And if you arrived early today, you would have seen the 1839 FC squad donning the 50th birthday Eric Housley warm-up jerseys. And when you see a player go by with one of those on, or somebody go by, make sure you look at the logos. It's pretty fun. said it earlier, but I thought Eric Osley was much older than 50. But must have been a misreading on my part.
Pat Neal. Manny Maravilla. Both of those players a part of last week's playoff win in overtime. This is Ryan Kane on that far sideline. Combining well with Roca. Wide for Reyes. Ryan Kane. Picked back up by Jody Mendoza. Always wearing that captain armband for 1839. It's Eric Reese. This is a ball for Reyes. Is he on sides? Reyes with a nice move, crossing. Beyond Maravilla. Maravilla will save possession. Picked back up by Cal Odyssey.
And again, Cal Odyssey coming up from Fresno. This organization was founded in 2000.
Vaya picks it back up from behind, and now this is Landon Ruiz from Marco Reyes. Back to Reese. Kane dropping in to help out. 1839, not afraid to move players all over the place. It speaks more to the talent they have. They're able to do so. Long throw. Roll all the way through to 1839. Sylvester Quintero couldn't pick it up. Not a bad idea, though, on the throw. Forced off the ball, finally. Saves possession, though. Ruiz. Still Ruiz. Little Roca. Way back to Jerry Mendoza. So far, 6 or 7 minutes in, a lot of 1839 possession. Nice move by Jerry. Great spin by Ortiz. Other side for Landon. Crossing just too far for Maravilla, but it was a good idea. Maravilla liked it. It's picked up by Vicente Lau.
On Wednesday night, they beat Chico CA 5-0 on June 3rd, Wednesday. So well done to Coach Ben Solomon and Emily Sheets. 1839 FC women's squad on the road tonight. They're in Fresno, playing the Fresno Freeze FC.
Well, just as the men have had a congested schedule this year, like Scott Stone mentioned, the women have similarly had a very tight, congested schedule with the WPSL and UPSL seasons overlapping. They are 4 out of 5 wins in their last 5. Great form. It was an emphatic win on Wednesday, just a few days ago, right here. 5 goals. Looked like they would have scored more if they had more time. Follow 1839 on all forms of social media, including right here for updates. WPSL and UPSL playoffs. We know there's an NPSL playoff game right here next week. Be a quarterfinal. Not sure exactly who it will be against. Nathan Ruiz, other side for Reese. Ball in for Neal. And it's out of bounds for a goal kick. Odyssey getting started in the back. The foot of Julian Vicente Lau.
Will be on the road for a while. They will be back here on Wednesday, July 3rd. That's July 4th Eve. And they'll be taking on Cal Storm in a WPSL matchup right here at Dodge Stadium.
Smooth by Rodriguez. Surrounded. Maintain this Odyssey run here in attack. It's Rodriguez again. Williamson, good ball in, and Ayala there first. It's Carlos Manzana Ayala. By Mendoza to Kane. I'm sure if this is in your frame, but 1839, if you're a regular viewer, you'll have noticed that the benches are further back and they're new and shaded. So less often will you see Coach Mark Corbett, Ben Solomon in your frame, but they are further back off the field in a shaded canopy now. For the first time today. This is a throw-in for Napa. Cleared away. It'll be thrown in by Marco Reyes. Jerry Mendoza. Eric Reese.
Down in the concessions area, make sure you give the kids a chance to try the Shanahan orthodontics PK center down there. Take a few shots.
Just broken up by Cesar Silva. Still goes wide as the Valle crossing. Reyes on the end of it, but couldn't find anybody on it. This is Mendoza. Great lob by Mendoza for Roca. Broken up by Vicente Lau. Throws it to his left quickly. Rodriguez broken up by Ortiz. Roca. Back to Reese. Approaching the 15th minute. Neither side with a surefire shot on target yet. It's a long one for Pat Neal. Well played by Stephen Morris. And offsides anyway, it was Neal.
Offside is the call against Napa. 15 minutes. And ladies and gentlemen, the NPSL has a category called the 2024 Golden Boot Race. And he's not playing tonight, but our very own Dario Pavon is on that list. That's the elite players of the NPSL. Dario Pavon with 8 goals in the NPSL. Well done, Dario.
Dario Pavone is always on that list. It is a national list. Always one of the leading goal scorers in the entire country. It's Dario Pavone. Resting here today, but sure to see him next week. 1839 will need him.
Receiving that pass inside the goal box.
To Scott's point, really is all about team. Dario very easily sort of pushed to be out there today. Let's try to run up his goal tally. The 1839 really are a team first group. 1839 locked in at 2. Good to rest and give other players reps and be ready for next week. Whether it be San Ramon or someone else in the Golden Gate Conference. Great positioning and easy to pick up for Carlos Ayala. Gets it going quickly to his left. It's Marco Reyes. Now Jerry Mendoza.
What's the Green Army doing out there? I do see the Green Army drums warming up down there, getting going, and they were over in Sonoma yesterday as well.
It might have been an injury for. I'm not sure who's hurt. It might be Ludo Roca. Mendoza put the ball out of play. It is Roca who's going to get attention to that right arm. I do hope he's okay. A couple players now going for warm-ups. Well, 1839 momentarily with 10. Goal kick. It's intercepted at midfield, and Rodriguez. It's Rodriguez again. God picked it up. Shot on goal, and it's just wide. Not sure if Ayala did get a touch to it. So it is a corner, and Roca invited back in. 1839 back on level terms to defend this corner.
26 minutes and change to go here in the first period.
It is just about 20 minutes played. San Ramon, or excuse me, Odyssey, corner in, and it's still in play. Cleared away, but not quite far enough. It'll be a throw. It's Adrian Lopez. Very dangerously across the face of goal for 1839, and Landon Ruiz able to get the clearance. Referee tried to play the advantage. I think it's a foul on Odyssey. Well, it's another injury, and Ruiz back on his feet. Motioning for Brandon Lucas. Oh. The referee blew the whistle, and so now Ruiz does have to make his way off the field, even if it's very brief. 39 once again, down to 10. It's a free kick. Ruiz making his way to midfield, hoping to be invited back in. Invited back in, 1839. It's 11 on 11. Williamson tried to get too cute there, and it's knocked away by Ludo Roca. Now, Ludo Roca looks like he's asking for a substitution. Still grabbing, looks like that wrist. Tease back to Mendoza. Roca in a fair amount of pain over there, and it's unfortunate. And 1839 are going to make a change pretty quickly. Ortiz back to Mendoza again. 1839 maybe buying a little time for their substitute to warm up. This is Roca. He's going to want to avoid contact. He's asking again. This is Marco Reyes. Neil. Reese.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check us out on social.
Great job to keep it in play. Ryan Kane.
Oscar Ortiz on Instagram the other day, giving some kind words about the family atmosphere and all around good times here at ODYSSEY. So cheers to Sheriff Oscar Ortiz. Not to be mistaken with our player, Oscar Ortiz.
In for Reyes, but once again, well played by Adrian Lopez. Lets it run out of play.
Alright, midway through the first half here, we got a water break, a good time for head down.
What is maybe as hot as it's been at any point this year out there. It's very hot last weekend as well. There is a water break happening now in 1839. It's very timely because 1839 will make a change. Almost certainly. Federico coming in. Federico Barbieri was a part of that 1839 win last week.
And not only do we have some great drinks down there, ladies and gentlemen,
For about a minute
great
and a half.
food as well.
Close to 2 minutes, and the referee blows his whistle.
Ready to go when you are.
Both coaches giving out last-minute instructions.
You don't have to do dishes at home. Always a good thing Sunday night. Quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors, Perfect Puree of Napa Valley, making our homemade punches. Moranita Market down on Jefferson Street with their ever popular Moranita tortilla chips. And next time you're ready to fill up, make sure you visit one of the 3 Napa Valley Petroleum's locally owned and proud sponsor of 1839 FC.
We are very close to being back underway. Has been about 3 minutes of stoppage time. It's a goal kick for Vicente Lau. Under duress very quickly. It was Odyssey. Adrian Lopez, another good play. He kept it in and is able to clear it away. 1839. Trying to put Odyssey under duress. They break out. This is Odyssey now, working against Avaya. Gets around Avaya. Tried to cross it in. It's a corner. Last touch came off an 1839 player. Not sure if it was Ayala. Well, able to help Odyssey break out was started with Adrian Lopez keeping that in play. It would have been a throw-in for Napa deep in Odyssey territory. Corner in. It's Lopez again, but he couldn't get it in. Couldn't get a good contact on it, but it's picked back up by Valverde. Crossed in by Lopez, knocked away by Reese. Great play by Mendoza. Couldn't clear it away. It's a throw in, and this is Adrian Lopez again. Lopez to Valverde, and Lopez crosses it in. It is cleared away. Strong challenge in the back of Ryan Kane. No foul. Shot on goal, and it is a long-range goal for Cal Odyssey.
Shot on goal, and that's the goal for Cal Odyssey. 17 minutes to go here in this first period.
Well, out of nowhere, it's a flurry of attacking play by Cal. Thought there could have been a foul for that challenge on Ryan Kane. Still down. I think when that shot was fired away, and that might be what Coach Mark Corbett is telling the referee here. As it is, it's 1-0. Cal Odyssey with the lead. Very shortly after that water break. just about 2 minutes ago. It was Federico. Run for Reyes, and it's gonna go too far. Out of bounds for a goal kick. Well, it really was a well-placed strike for Cal. Had Ayala at full stretch. The goal kick now for Julian Vicente Lau. Be contested. So Rodrigo Villa. Now Lopez was a big part of that goal, or the build up to it anyway. A great interception by Ortiz. Now with Reese. He's back to Reese. Now Federico. Maravilla dropping in to help out. Pat Neal. Reyes lets it roll all the way through to Mendoza. Other way for Ruiz. Players thought about making a run. Ryan Kane was very close. This is Pat Neal working against Lopez. Neal had a step, and it's a cross-in just beyond Kane and just beyond Manny Maravilla. 1939 have been very close. Picked up there by Valverde. Knocked along by Rodriguez. It's back up by 1839 to Valle. Ortiz is closed down quickly. It's a good play by Alexander Rodriguez. Kept in play there for Odyssey by Rodrigo Villa. It's a long one. Well played again by Lopez. Initially got it beyond Ortiz, but he tracked back for it. Should be a throw for 1839, and it is. Pat Neal.
Reese is going to try right inside.
Nice move by Federico. Faked out Quintero. All the way through to Ryan Kane, and he's offsides.
Ryan Kane charging forward there, called offsides.
It was perfectly well weighted. Vicente Lau opted not to come out to challenge. Not sure exactly if Kane would have gotten there first. Vicente Lau thought so. Either way, it's offsides. Adrian Lopez, nice move for Lopez, and he sets up for a shot. Still Adrian Lopez off the post.
Shot on goal. That was number 29, Adrian Lopez.
So far, we've had a hard time dealing with Adrian Lopez. He's been all over, mostly on this right side for Cal. This near sideline for us. 1839, just hanging on. Foul drawn by Maravilla. Free kick for 1839. Sees back to Federico Barbieri. Back to Ortiz. From Maravilla to Ortiz to Neal. Great build-up. Neal with options. Cross. Goal was spilled by Vicente Lau. 1839 at back level. It looked like it was Maravilla, the final touch. 1839, pretty quickly draw level. Answer back. Approaching the 35th minute. Just about 10 minutes to go. There should be a healthy amount of stoppage time. If the referee does it by the book. 2 injuries early for 1839 and then a stoppage. Does have to be probably the hottest day we've had a game here so far this year. As we appropriately as we approach July, here at the end of June, that's how it is. It's a fight for the ball. Cal hoping to get the free kick underway quickly. Ruiz was down. Some gamesmanship, trying to let 1839 players fall back in defense. Alexander Rodriguez. Great pass. It's going to be wide. It was a poor shot in the end. It was a great pass to Silvestre Quintero. Mendoza for Reyes. Picked up by Ortiz, then Maravilla. De Valle. This is Maravilla. Offsides. Offsides is the call, but it's another good play and build up for Napa. An improper free kick. And now the referee says it's okay to get the game going, and they do. It's Adrian Lopez. Intercepted by Neal. Maravilla to Landon Ruiz. Back wide to Neal. Neal dispossessed, but it's saved by Ruiz again. Opts to go back to Reyes. Mendoza was asking for it. Reyes takes the shot to Kane. Second ball falls for Napa. Maravilla under duress. Pat Neal somehow maintains, and he's knocked down, and Ruiz bursts out on a run. Still Napa. Advantage played. Mendoza, 1839 in fine form, passing it around now. Crossed by Maravilla for Kane. Knocked into the middle for Ortiz, but cleared away and picked back up by Pat Neal. In the past minute, Odyssey unable to pick the ball up, and finally Rodriguez did. It's knocked away finally for a throw for Cal Odyssey. If you're just joining us, it is 1-1. Cal Odyssey scored first. 1839 answered back relatively quickly.
We've got a free kick here for Odyssey with 6 minutes to go in this first half.
Nice play over on that sideline, but Rodriguez is dispossessed by Kane. Kane surrounded, shut down. It's a foul. Free kick for Napa. Shot for Neal and has a step on Lopez again, and it was cleared away. Vicente Lau dove for it. Didn't want to let it go across the face of goal. Understandably. It is Mendoza. We're in the 40th minute. Both of these teams would love the advantage going into halftime. Great play by Navaya. This is Federico. This is Ortiz. Federico with a shot for Kane or Reyes. Too far. Vicente Lau able to pick it back up. Valverde goes wide for Cal. Offsides is Sylvester Quintero. Away quickly is Pat Neal again on this near sideline. Pat Neal grabbed almost by Villa. Ortiz just has to get it all the way back to Reese. Barbieri again. This time bringing it forward himself. Back to Neal. Mendoza. Neal again. And Neal gonna bring it himself, and Reyes was tangled up with Lopez. No foul. Picked up by the goalkeeper, Vicente Lau. It's Christian Valverde. It's Rodriguez in the middle. Valverde again. Broken up by Barbieri. Now 1839. It's about 3 minutes to go. Shot by Mendoza beyond Ortiz. Now a throw for Cal Odyssey. Vicente Lau. Really given away very quickly by Cal in 1839 with a chance. Maravilla tried to let it go through for Ruiz. Ruiz knocks it back, but it's picked up. Williamson. Villa had some space, but it's a really poor pass. Easily picked up by Marco Reyes. All the way back to Carlos Ayala. Federico Barbieri again. Wide for Davaya.
2 minute mark here, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes to go in this first half. We're all tied up. Odyssey 1. 39 FC 1. I see some delicious looking food coming into the stadium.
Dosa thought about going to Kane. (1839) dispossessed. It was Davaya who lost it. Ayala has to come forward. Great challenge by Ayala. Those are the toughest decisions for a goalkeeper. If you get that wrong even by half a second, it's an open goal. Ayala played it so well. There's a corner for Odyssey. Ball in. Long. Lopez couldn't get the ball down, and it'll be a throw for 1839. It'll be 2 minutes of stoppage time. Starting very soon here. Very close to that 46th minute. Referee really could have given more than 2 minutes. The water break alone was 2.5 or 3. Not to mention injuries to Ruiz and Roca for 1839. Pat Neal keeps it in play, but the referee says otherwise. Looked like he had kept it in play. This one out of bounds by Mendoza. Reese. 1839 will be happy if they touch the ball last, if this is the final attack of the half. Back to Mendoza. All eyes on the referee. It's broken up by Lopez. Now Odyssey looked for a chance. Going the other way, referee looked at his watch. Out of bounds, and now a throw for 1839. This will probably be it. Once this ball is back in play. It's Reese. Long pass for Kane. And 1839 might just have another opportunity. Back with Kane.
Final play or two here in the first half.
Well, that is it. Odyssey did a good job of not allowing 1839 that chance.
First 45 minutes, we got a tie game here going into halftime. 1839 FC 1, now Odyssey 1.
Well, it is 1839 here at home with 1 goal against Cal Odyssey with 1 goal. It's been a good battle. Odyssey scored first. 1839 answered back quickly. 45 minutes played, 45 to go. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
right, we got the referees heading out onto the field. I see the 1839 FC players ready to go. Cal Odyssey doing their final huddle as we enter the second half. And we've got a showdown here at Dodge Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, all tied up 1-1. You guys having a good time out there on this Sunday afternoon? Yeah. We're trying to get the 1830 the women's score for you, since their kickoff time was the same as ours. So we'll let you know if we can get that score. All right, we are just about ready to go here.
Hey, I mean, we can do that.
I think somebody said, "Let's go Napa." Yeah. I think I heard somebody say, "Vamos Napa."
Well, good evening and welcome back. It's Cal Odyssey at Napa Valley 1839, final regular season game of the National Premier Soccer League, the Golden Gate Conference.
Final NPSL.
The West a little further ahead, so West start playoffs next week. If you want to join us right here, we have that game for you right here in Napa, 7 p.m. kickoff. It is San Ramon now locked in, no matter what happens around the league this week. San Ramon will be here next week. It's the 3 seed coming here to number 2. If you're just joining us, it is 1-1, 1839 in white and green. Cal Odyssey in red and blue. Well, and that's looked like a handball. It'll be a throw-in for Napa. Well, anyway, 1839 are affiliated with so many great organizations and charities. One of those is One at a Time, and I'm joined now in the booth by Sean Kapoff. Sean, welcome in.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to be with you. Unfortunately, we were on a break during the halftime presentation, but if you want to go ahead and kind of give that same idea for the viewers here now.
Yeah,
tell us what you guys do One at a Time.
Yeah, so we provide families access to clean and safe drinking water, and we do that through filtering the dirty water. And essentially, the global water crisis, the leading cause of death for children 5 and under, is due to water-related illnesses. So our goal is to figure out a solution that is, 1, doesn't cost a lot, 2, lasts a long time. And so we found this filter. It's a Sawyer filter, and what that filter does is it takes out all the bacteria, which causes them to get sick and potentially die, and it takes it all out. And on top of that, it'll last for over 10 years. So for a small cost, it gives a massive impact for the families that are in need. And so that's what we do. We primarily do that in Latin America and in Southeast Asia.
I was going to ask, that's great work. You said, how long do these filters last?
About 10 years, like we say about, because we've had 10 years now doing it, and they're still working. And the way we know that is we have a team of scientists, so we collect data, throughout the years to make sure that those filters are still being used appropriately, testing the water sources to make sure that it is taking out all the contaminants so that they continue to have clean water. And so what we've seen is that over 10 years now, those filters are still working strong.
Good. So the expiration date is...
We don't know, but 10 years for sure. Which, like you dig a well, it could last 5-10 years, and then it could dry up. in a lot of the areas that we work in, they have access to water. It's just contaminated. So with this filter, it's small, it's gravity fed. You attach it to like a 5-gallon bucket. You drop the hose down. The dirty water goes through this hose and through this filter, and then the filter takes out all the contaminants. And for those who are scientific minded listening to this, it's 0.1 microns absolute. So meaning that it's not nominal, meaning that every pore size in this hollow fiber membrane is 0.1 microns. And all bacteria is larger than 0.1, so it just takes it all out.
Lots of incredible work, and it says hundreds of thousands of children die from this every year.
Yeah, it's actually, it's in the millions. So it is, you could take war, AIDS, malaria, all these and combine it, and it doesn't even come close to what dirty water does to children 5 and under. So their immune systems as kids, they're not strong enough. They have to drink water no matter what to stay alive, right?
Yeah.
And so the families are forced to either boil the water, but sometimes they don't boil it long enough, or they don't even have the utensils to boil water. So they're stuck with having to drink dirty water. And the hope is that their kids would last after 5 years and then so on and so forth. But unfortunately, for a lot of places that we work in, that's not the case. And so our goal is to curb that, to stop that through filtration. And so, there's organizations like this amazing soccer club where the owner, president, Eric, has partnered with us for a number of years now. And on top of that, Housley Wine, too, so his brother, have partnered with us and saying we recognize the reality of the water crisis and we want to help provide and donate towards your organization to continue to provide kids access to clean water around the world.
Well, that's incredible. I know, Adam and Eric both, love to be involved in great organizations like yours. Beyond them, how else does your organization move forward fund-wise?
Yeah, so a lot of it.
What could the viewers do to help?
Yeah, so you could just simply go to our website, one, to learn, or to also donate. So our website is oneatatime.org. You would spell that ONEATTATIME.org. So it's ONEATTATIME.org. Or you can just put in Google search ATTA water, and that will show our organization up, and you'll be able to see on our website the work that we do, how we work. Everything that we do in a country is done by local people. Everything that we do in country is building relationships with them so that we can create trust and a sustainable model so that when the local leaders distribute these filters, they continue to use them. And so for our side on the state side is to continue to build those relationships and to help monitor and track to make sure that they're getting access to clean water.
Well, it's incredible. As far as the game is going, Julian Navarez came in for Cal, and it's Cal in a good attacking position right now. It's a shot on goal, and it's over the bar by Andres Garcia Diaz. Well, Sean, that's all great. What's the next mission? Where are you guys off to next?
Right. We have a couple of things in the pipeline. So we have a distribution center in San Salvador, El Salvador. Oh,
1839 on a spectacular run. And 1839 will take the lead here. Well, great call by Scott. It was Neil to Kane. 51st minute or so, 1839 with the lead. 1839 strike first. In the second half, it's 2-1. That happens from time to time, interrupted by a great goal. That'll happen, especially with 1839. But you were saying you were talking about your next mission here for one at a time.
I would be glad to be interrupted every 30 seconds for a goal from 1839.
Me too, especially if they look anything like that.
Yeah, that was incredible. So we have two main initiatives happening right now. One is in San Salvador, El Salvador. So there's 14 districts or states in the country of El Salvador. We've been working there for over 10 years now. And there's about 30,000 that are in desperate need of clean water. And so our goal is to raise $3.5 million to provide those families access to clean water. And so we're currently on target for doing that within the next 2 to 3 years. Our hope is to continue to raise funds to make that happen. We have great leadership there. We're partnering with the government there. So our people are privy to El Salvador, which feel like they've been getting in the news a lot lately with President Bukele and what he's doing and efforts for curbing gang violence and creating a more peaceful country, which is true. It's happening.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so we've been able to partner with this great government, and they're in on it too as well to help. And so that's one of our main initiatives. And the other one is in Vietnam. So we have a distribution center in the center, a part of Vietnam called Da Nang. And then we are continuing to provide clean water across that country as well. And so our goal in both places is to work in the namely indigenous tribal communities and giving them access to clean water. So that's kind of our main initiatives at the moment. But we work in Colombia, we work in Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras, Cuba, in Cambodia, and in Vietnam right now. But those 2 countries are our primary emphasis at the moment.
Well, it's so interesting. You mentioned working, with governments.
Uh-huh.
Two of the governments you mentioned have at times been hostile.
They have.
But right now, Vietnam and El Salvador, you think?
So yeah, I mean geopolitics is nuanced a lot, and sometimes, or maybe a lot of times, you read the news and it's not solely accurate.
Oh, of course.
So until you're with them, and so yeah, so the beauty of it, I think when I first started working in Vietnam in 2015, I felt like, man, like I've been in tribal communities where the last time the states were in there, it's not great, but they've been so welcoming and also forgiving based upon our past history. And so I think the beauty of the Vietnamese people is that they really believe in forgiveness and kindness, and they recognize when there's love. And when we're coming in, not for trying to conquer or any of that stuff, we're just coming in because we love the people and we have this tool. Like, this tool will really help you. They come in open arms. And it's been this beautiful moment of connecting and realizing that, yeah, we're 2 different countries, but we're humans. Like, we have these 2 different ways of seeing the world, maybe, but ultimately we're humans, and we're here to work together to make the world a better place. And so that's been the same in all the countries that I've worked in, is that we have these maybe not so great pasts of history, but at the end of the day, right now, where we are is like, we want to help make the world a better place. And that ultimately is just the love for humanity and certain action steps to make that happen. And one of them happens to be access to clean water. And that access to water unites us together to realize, hey, let's put all that stuff aside. Like, I'll apologize all day long, like, no problem. But at the end of the day, like, we're here to make the world a better place. And so everyone's on board, which is really neat to see. And also, like, opens up my aperture for the world at large too, because I don't know, but to experience it is a gift.
No, that's, beautifully said. And there are a few things more universal than water.
Yeah.
Clean water.
Yeah.
Well, for everybody, our audience on YouTube, speaking with Sean Kapoff, oneatatime.org. That's ONEATTATIME.org, oneatatime.org. Sean Kapoff, where would you like to see your organization in the next 5 to 10 years? What would you, if in 5 or 10 years, where would you love to be?
Man, for one, I would love to see where we're working right now in El Salvador, is that entire country has access to water. So I'm working with the president of Water and Infrastructure right now, where they're looking to build water treatment facilities across the country. But in the meantime, we're the stopgap, so we can give access to clean water now while they build infrastructure for the future. So our hope is that within 5 years, 10 years, that every person in El Salvador has access to clean, free drinking water. They don't have to pay for it. And I think the same is for all the other countries that we're working in. Like, our organization is called One at a Time, so that's literally how we do things, because every child matters. Like, if that was my child, I want to make sure I give them the best care possible. So what we have done is, like, the measurement and how we move forward is, as far as we go wide out, we want to have that same level of depth as if it was giving to one person or one family. And so for us to do that, to scale that, is to get more people engaged in country, more people engaged in from the states, fundraising, and then moving that forward, mobilizing and uniting together to make a larger impact. The only way that we can do that is if everyone gets engaged. I think Mother Teresa said that if you can't feed 100, then just feed 1. And that's the idea. That's kind of like our mantra or our slogan, or however which way you want to phrase it, that everyone can make a difference one at a time. And so for us, bringing awareness like what you're helping do here on this on the live stream here, and other places around these states that I talk to. It's just getting people engaged, realizing that it's only $100 to give a family clean water for the next 10 plus years. It's not a lot, and it's totally solvable, and it doesn't need to be a crisis anymore. So if we can all rally together and just do for one that we wish we could do for everyone, then my goodness, we could see a massive impact.
Well, you're so great at putting things into perspective, and that does put it into perspective, and it sheds light on your name one at a time for $100.
Yeah, it's not a lot, especially nowadays with the economy. You go to the grocery store, like, wow, all right.
You get there quick.
Yeah, you really do.
Well, one at a time. I'm speaking with Sean Kapoff, oneatatime.org. Before I let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about yourself. How did you get involved in this mission?
That is a great question. And if this were a Joe Rogan podcast, I could probably go for 3 hours.
Well, hey, we have plenty of time. We have no heartbreaks coming up, so.
Well, let me, and the fact that we're up by 1, that's great.
That is.
And I say we because I own it too. I'm from Southern California, but I have a huge heart here in Napa because it's become a second home for people like Eric and Adam, who have really become family to me, which has been great. But yeah, so I worked in the church world for a long time. And in that space, when you are constantly giving of yourself, whether you're a nurse or a doctor or a pastor or a minister or whatever, when you're in those spaces, you often, if you don't take care of yourself, you get this thing called compassion fatigue, where you're empty, you have nothing inside. And I felt that back in 2013. And so I started to think, like, what can I do to like reinvigorate my heart? Like, how can I figure out a way to make my heart beat again? And so I started thinking about things I care about. Now I live in Southern California. I live in San Clemente. I love surfing, but I didn't know like what I could do with that. I like coffee. Also didn't know. Maybe I just like coffee because of the caffeine. But I also really, yeah, right? It's awesome. But maybe I just really enjoy, I also like thought about kids. I'm like, when I'm hanging out with kids, it's like, have you ever seen the Monsters Inc. movie?
Of course.
Yeah. So the whole premise of it, and I'm sorry if you haven't seen it, but I'm going to spoil it for you. So you can either plug your ears, or skip forward, or whatever.
It's been 20 years. So.
Yeah, whatever. If you haven't seen it, man, you're missing out. But the whole premise of it is that these monsters come out of the closet at night. They scare the kids screams, create energy for the monster city, right? But they realize at the end of the movie that if you make the kids laugh, it's like 100 times greater. And I think that premise is so true for us as adults, is that many of us have grown up. We're growing old, but we've grown up too, and we miss that childlike wonder. We miss that childlike laughter. And so when we're hanging out with kids, like when kids laugh, it changes the entire atmosphere. And so I started thinking about, like, man, I really do love kids. And so I just Googled what's taking away life from kids. And that's where I discovered that the leading cause of death for children 5 and under is lack of access to dirty water. And they said it like that number or that statement, you can hear it, but it doesn't really touch your heart. And this person, when I was reading, they gave an analogy. They said, imagine a jumbo jet plane, right? 747 or whatever, jumbo jet plane filled with children. So 600 some odd seats. Imagine that whole plane is filled with children, 500. Imagine that plane takes off and then crashes, leaving no survivors. Now, there is a weird phenomenon in the world.
It's off the post. It was another electric run by Pat Neal.
That was incredible.
Lucky for
Very close.
So imagine that plane taking off, crashing, leaving no survivors. There's a weird phenomenon in the world that when a plane crashes, it makes headline news. And even right now, like with the Boeing stuff or all those news, because there's something within the world that is like curious for whatever reason about planes crashing. And if a plane crashed with children filled with it, 5 and under, it'd make headline news worldwide.
No, like you said,
right?
just the potential of a plane crashing.
Just the potential.
Making national, worldwide news.
Now imagine that happens. Imagine that happens 10 hours later, same thing. Another jumbo jet plane filled with children, 500, takes off, crashes. At that point in time, I feel like the whole world would stop and say, what is happening? Why are there kids in planes? We need to figure out this problem. That's the global water crisis for children 5 and under. And the hard part is that it's not a hard solution. And so when I started to discover that, I'm like, man, maybe I need to do something in the water world. I don't know anyone suffering from it. I live in Orange County. Like, there's no one that I know that suffers from water. Like, we have the gift of these great water treatment facilities, have since I was a kid. And it's never been an issue. And I remember I walked one day down onto my fridge, and my wife and I sponsor a kid in El Salvador through another nonprofit organization. And in that nonprofit organization, we give this kid basic education or whatever it is that we're funding. And I told my wife, I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out with that kid. And so I flew down to El Salvador, met that kid, and come to find out that kid is the donation's working great, but he's suffering from worms. And I said, worms from what? And she said, from our drinking water. And at that point in time, I'm like, oh my goodness, I really need to figure out a solution. And so that's what kind of led me onto this journey of figuring out, well, I can't give everyone clean water, but I can give that one kid, Brian, clean water. I could try that at least. And so that kind of led me to discover, like, okay, they have access to water, but it's dirty. So I found a company that makes this filter. It's the best filter on the market, called Sawyer. If you go to REI or Walmart, you can buy their filters. A lot of hikers use it. It's the best thing out there. And they've created this contraption that you can attach to a 5-gallon bucket, which then would give a family access to clean water. And so we did some research trying to figure out how to make sure our help doesn't hurt. And that's when we realized, let's befriend the local leaders in the community, show them the product, build a relationship with them, and then let them be the ones to decide how this is distributed, and let them be the ones to distribute. And then we just keep the relationship going. And it worked. That's all I want to do is give Brian clean water. I had no other inclination to do anything more than that, but other people kept asking for more of it. I just kept saying yes, and then fast forward 10 years, 10 years later, and we've been able to provide over 50,000 families clean water around the world in a way that's sustainable, in a way that brings dignity, in a way that brings ownership and sustainability. And it's been really incredible to be able to see all the people come together. And I mean, last thing I would think would be sitting here in Napa at a soccer match, talking about this. But that's the beauty of people, is that when you talk to other people, everyone has a heart and they want to help. I think the hard part is that we feel like, especially in the economy right now, can we really make a difference? And I would say, yeah, you can. There's organizations out there like ours that for a small cost, you can make a massive impact in a family's life. And I think that's the beauty of what we do, and what differentiates us from a lot of other nonprofits is that, well, how much will my $25 a month make? Man, if you give $25 a month, you're going to give a few families access to clean drinking water this year. And it'll last 10 years, every year. One family, that's incredible. Just one will make a massive impact. And so I think the beauty of what we do is that we were able to figure out a solution that for a small cost can make a massive impact. And that's kind of the genesis of how it all started.
Well, your story is incredible. I hope Joe Rogan or someone like him does invite you onto their podcast.
Maybe if I had a couple conspiracy theories, I'm kidding.
We could always mix one or two of those in, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just flavor it up a little bit.
Drink water came from aliens.
Yeah. There we go.
Joe Rogan, I hope you're listening. Well, Sean, cap off one more time. Let's do the website.
Yeah. So that'd be oneatattime.org. So ONEATTA time.org. Or you literally can just search in Google ATTA water and we'll show up. And that's it.
Well, once again, a very special thank you to, 1839 for partnering with you guys. And it's really distinct thank you to you for sharing not only your personal story, but the story of One at a Time and all the work you do. Sean Kapoff, thank you very much for joining us in the booth.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This has been a joy getting to know you, and also at least watching them win. So that's great too.
Yeah, we're so far so good for the audience. It is 2-1. About halfway through the second half.
Well, there's number 22 throwing in right there. I just met his family.
Zach Davaya.
Coming out of Lodi, California. I only know that because I met his mom.
You know everybody out here.
Apparently.
It's a long one for Kane. Cal Odyssey, who scored first. Now 1839 have scored 2 in a row. It's Cal Odyssey on a push, and it's a great shot over the bar. Looks like he struck it pretty well.
Shot on goal Cal Odyssey. That was Alexander Rodriguez going just over the top of the crossbar, and we've got a water break. Still anybody's game here at Dodge Stadium. It's 2-1. Napa still in the lead.
Another water break. Well, one more time, thank you to Sean Kapoff and everybody at oneatatime.org. Nata Water. The great work they do. 1839 are associated and support great organizations. Happy to share those with you. Scott Stone reminding us on the Stadium PA that it is San Ramon who will be here next week. It's a semi-final round of the NPSL's Golden Gate Conference playoffs. It'll be a packed house here in Napa. It'll be a 7 p.m. kickoff. It will be a full stadium. $18.39 locked in at 2. We now know that it'll be San Ramon locked in at 3.
And the women will be back in town on Wednesday, July 3rd. And they will be taken on the WPSL matchup. They'll be taking on Cal Storm right here at Dodge Stadium. What a great way to start your 4th of July.
Well, Justin Sotelo in the game for Napa. A couple of substitutions.
Right here on July 3rd, 7 p.m.
Water break. Almost done. Federico. Right there in your frame talking with Mark Corbett. Coach Mark being asked to vacate center field. It's beyond the norm. If you have noticed, if it has been in your, there it is in your frame now. The new benches for 1839, brand new, first game with them, and they're much further back from the field. So I'm not sure what the protocol is for coaches, how close to the field they're allowed to be. Mark making his way up there, and this is going to be picked up by the goalkeeper.
And we had a substitution in the water break. This is number 27 right in front of you. That's Justin Sotelo.
Landon Ruiz still out there for Napa.
And it looks like Mini Napa's coming up with French fries. That's looking good.
Well, with a 1-goal advantage, 1839 happy to knock it around in the back. Cal Odyssey have to come after them at some point. Odyssey had been playing really well.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we always mention our sponsors, and we've got a heck of a list of them. Armis Brewing Company, relatively new to Napa. Century Oak Wine, sign up for wine tasting. Check out Century Oak Wine. Make sure you head over to Ranch Market. Serving the Napa Valley since 1976.
We hope you heard Scott Stone thanking just a couple of the businesses that help make everything here possible. And it's 1839 on a great counter. It's Sebek Karabahal crossing. Easy knocking for 1839's third goal of the day. Well, it's the substitute. Only in there for a minute or two. It's Justin Sotelo. Well, 1839 looking more and more like winning this final game, the regular season. That's 3 goals unanswered.
Napa going up 3-1.
Well, for a 3rd consecutive time, Cal Odyssey get us back underway after conceding a goal. Garcia Diaz dispossessed, but it falls to Morris. It's still Odyssey. Well, he hasn't had the same impact on this half as he did the first. Alexander Rodriguez. It's Rodriguez with a long pass for Garcia Diaz. It's pretty easily picked back up by Napa. 1839 thought it should have been their ball, but it's a throw-in for Cal. Rodriguez crossing all the way across the face of goal. You may have noticed by now at halftime, 1839 substituted their goalkeeper. Coach Mark loves to rotate keepers. It was Ayala to start, and he looked like he might have picked up, a slight knock in that first half, and maybe that has to do with it. It's Grimes in. Number 13, Thomas Grimes in at goal. It was Alex Housley. There's Ryan Kane. Now he's wearing the captain's armband. Relief of Mendoza. $18.39 on cruise control. Just joining us, it is 3-1. $18.39 with the lead. Carabajal. Williamson. Rock de Mestre. It's a long one for Quintero. Easily picked up and back now to Grimes.
Grimes playing it up to Housley. Housley going over the right side. Inside 14.
Approaching the 77th minute. Not much time left for Cal.
Cal Odyssey looking to close the deficit down 2 goals.
Well, Sotelo knew he was offside. Lets it roll all the way through. Centelao. Rodriguez is intercepted. It's like a yellow card. It's for Rodriguez. It's a free kick for Napa. 1839 looked like they might make another substitution. Switching armbands again. New captain is Reese. Making way is Ryan Kane. is Gus Avina. Avina coming in.
PK by number 20, Ryan King.
We're back underway. First touch for Avina, and it's an important one. Manages to connect with Devaya, and it's a free kick now for Napa. Not quite a corner, but it'll be a similar play, I think. Players in the box cross in. Free kick for Napa. Ball in by Ortiz. It was a very good one. Well defended by Adrian Lopez. Shot wide. Be a goal kick for Cal. Housley to Zach Devaya, and now Reese. Wearing that captain's armband. Well, picked up by Rodriguez, but defended well. Knocked away by Federico. Barbieri, he is in for Ludo Roca. Left in the first half with an injury to his arm. And Stephen Morris. That's for Andres Garcia Diaz. Still Garcia Diaz. This is Morris. He answered a shot. It's just over the bar. Did well to get that shot off, surrounded by white shirts. Andres Garcia Diaz. A discussion with the referee. Reese. For Sotelo. Scored that great goal. Back to Grimes. Under duress by Rodriguez. Adrian Lopez. Good job to hang on to it. Get it to Morris. Now back with Lopez. For Rodriguez. Thought about taking the shot. Back wide to Garcia Diaz. Good from Odyssey. Crossing. Knocked away by Reese. Reese concedes the corner. Savina making his way back. Only Carabajal out for Napa. Sotelo on this near sideline. Corner in for Cal Odyssey. For Lopez again into the middle. It's for Sean Williamson, but Grimes was there first. Long throw from Grimes to Sotelo. It's a good one. We just released it too late. Needed a much quicker release. Gus Avina had some space. Actually, was called offsides. Nice spin by Rodriguez. Rodrigo Villa opts to go back. The Mestre is dispossessed in 1839. Ball again. Happy to take it slow. 2-goal advantage now for Napa. 84 minutes played. This is a good pickup for Cal. Trying to go the other way. It's a poor pass picked off easily by Devaya.
Green Army, who's ready for round one of the playoff coming up week? There's a good chance we may end up meeting up with Farrell as usual. We gotta get past San Ramon first. So one game at a time, I think is what they say.
Well, it has been Faralito at the end of the road for Napa the past 3 seasons. Faralito, the Giants of the West. 1839, a new and upcoming team. Could this be the year? Sotelo with another shot just wide.
Sotelo with a shot on goal.
Sacramento, who first have to make that long drive to El Faralito in San Francisco. If they could get the upset, they'd be here in that second week of July if Napa can defeat San Ramon next week. Like Scott Stone said, 1839 will take it one game at a time. First it's San Ramon. Housley or Devaya under duress. That was forced by Morris. Gets the ball to Rodriguez. Down goes Morris. It's a shot on goal. Saved by Grimes. They're going to stop play. Well, Morris went down immediately. With his body on the line. Got that ball to Rodriguez. And immediately grabbed at that right ankle. I do hope he's okay. 85th minute. 1839 in cruise control. Next stop, the playoffs. Right here in Napa. Semi-final round in the Golden Gate Conference playoffs. San Ramon at Napa Valley, 1839. We have that kickoff for you right here, 7 p.m. Can't wait for it. Like we said, on the other side of the bracket will be Sacramento Gold at El Faralito. San Francisco.
Few more sponsors here. The Payroll Factory. That's a women-owned payroll factory serving the Napa community for more than...
Well, Morris back on his feet. Not invited back in by the referee. Now invited back in. It's a technicality. Odyssey back with 11. It's a great run. Avina is in. Oh, it's a narrow call. Offsides. Flag is up. Just looked like he held his run just long enough. Centelao was in great position to challenge for that ball anyway. In the final minutes of this game, here's Morris. Couldn't get it around Housley. Great interception. Avina. To go back to Devaya. Reese. Pressure on by Rodriguez. Another offsides call. Time on Carabajal. Free kick for Odyssey. Is Morris. They're a long way from Fresno. Could Odyssey salvage anything out of this game? Down 2. Mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. 88th minute now. Great challenge by Housley. It's back to Reese. Housley again. Nice pass. Alex combining with Zach to Vaya. He's lost his footing, but it's still with 18:39. It's a great pass for Carvajal. Keeper was out.
Meanwhile, Carvajal coming down that left-hand side.
Can't believe it. Dispossessed. Odyssey. Odyssey lose it pretty quickly. It's 18:39 again. So about a minute and a half left for regulation. Tavaya faked like he might go to Ruiz. And Reese will hang on to it as long as Cal Odyssey will allow him to. Only one player really applying any pressure. Cal Odyssey waiting for the merciful whistle of the referee at this point. Well, Morris has turned his back to the ball. Morris now. Was a decent pass, but it's picked up by 18:39. Back into the middle of the field. Somehow found Alex Housley. The goalkeeper did really, really well. Would have been one-on-one. Housley. Odyssey thoroughly beaten. And seemingly waiting for the whistle. 18:39, why not? All the way back to Grimes. Well, not really seen this before. Well, now that they have the ball, Rodriguez was trying to get in, but once again, easily dispossessed. And this game does come to a merciful end. Odyssey thoroughly beaten. Out of gas. 18:39 win the final regular season game in the NPSL's Golden Gate Conference regular season.
Moving on to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. Green Army, make sure you come out in a week. We will be hosting San Ramon FC in round 1 of the NPSL playoffs.
Well, it is the semifinals. San Ramon here at Napa, 18:39. We have that game for you on the other side of the bracket. Sacramento Gold at El Faralito. The winners will meet in the conference final.
As always, thank you for coming out.
One more time, want to thank Sean Kapoff with oneatatime.org. Great conversation to start the second half. Want to follow 18:39 on all forms of social media for playoff updates and the schedule right here on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Once again, thanks to Sean Kapoff. On behalf of everyone else here at 18:39, Scott Stone on the Stadium PA, Ezra Alvarez on the camera. I'm Hayden Larson saying thank you and good night.
All right, quick reminder.